Now at 5:30, most Illinois farmers have their crops in the ground, but uncertainty is swirling around selling their crops, especially to China.
Yeah, much of the soybeans grown here are sold to the Chinese market. WGN's Patrick Elwood caught up with one farmer to learn about his concerns.
Springtime in northeastern Illinois, and Lake County farmer Andy Yark is on the clock. It's planting season.
We do have a short window. Usually in the spring when I start planting, it's usually about a month, and then harvest it's about 2.
Farming is in his blood.
I like watching plants grow.
And he comes from good stock.
I'm a full-time firefighter in Libertyville, and then I basically picked that career because I wanted to be a farmer.
No kidding.
So yeah, with the schedule of a firefighter paramedic, I was able to keep farming. I am a 4th generation farmer. So my great-grandfather started the farm in 1946.
The agrarian life has its ups and downs. Will the weather cooperate?
We watch the weather every day.
Will the plants grow? Will people buy the commodity, and at what price?
I guess that anxiety is probably starts with if they're going to be able to make enough money to feed their families with their profession of farming.
Andy grows a variety of things, but corn and soybean are his bread and butter.
This is my planter monitor. Each one of these, I have a 16-row planter, so each one of these is every row unit, it's monitoring it, making sure it's putting down the appropriate amount of seeds.
The corn he grows stays home. Most soybeans are exported, and China is the #1 market. In a perfect world, he and most exporting farmers would prefer
our goal as producers is open trade.
Free market.
Yep, that would be the best.
However, the current trade war is upending that. In the case of the U.S., foreign countries use tariffs, which is a tax imposed on imported American-made goods or services. When President Trump took office, he has started imposing what are termed reciprocal tariffs. Commodity markets have responded with volatility since. In recent days, the Trump administration said it would reduce the 145% duties it had imposed on imports from China to 30%, while China said it would cut its 125% tariffs on U.S. goods to 10%. Some of the U.S. tariffs, 24 percentage points, will be delayed for 90 days while negotiations continue. China is the biggest consumer of American soybeans, and the uncertainty what may come has farmers across the country very worried.
We want to continue to see a fair and level playing field.
Andrew Larson is with the Illinois Soybean Association that represents 43,000 farmers in Illinois.
I think the strategy and what we'd be in favor of is just making sure whatever we can do to make sure there's certainty in the marketplace, making sure that we know which markets are going to be open in 6 to 8 months and which markets are not going to be, and making sure that we can have the opportunity to supply the customers that are looking for our product continually.
I like it. I don't know, I was like born into it. It's just what I do.
Back in Lake County, where Andy farms, there are over 300 working farms, mostly growing soybeans and corn as well. According to the Farm Bureau, 94% of them are family-owned. Andy feels China needs U.S. farmers as much as we need that humongous consumer market. His advice to the president?
Need to have an agreement. We need to get along because they need us, we need them, and we just got to get something worked out.
The 90-day pause on the 100 percentage point plus tariffs between China and the U.S. will allow farmers the time they need to grow those crops, and the hope widely is a permanent, equitable agreement will be in place in time for the harvest. Patrick Elwood, WGN News.